Our area's most beautiful properties deserve the finest realtors. Meeks Realty Group. We focus on buying and selling residential and commercial properties throughout the tri-state area. Contact Meeks Realty Group online at meeks.us or call 304-440-1101.
The views and opinions expressed on this program do not necessarily reflect the views and opinions of 580 WCHS, its employees, or WVRC Media. From the studios of WVRC Media, the country, the United States of America, the state, West Virginia, the city, Charleston. This is the Dave Allen Show on 580 Live. And your host.
What we've got here is failure to communicate.
He's kind of a big deal.
I have come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass, and I'm all out of bubblegum.
Dave Allen.
And a good Tuesday morning to you from the Par-Mar Store studio. Welcome to the show. Biggly, Piggly, Wiggly hotline 304-345-5858. Fruth Pharmacy text 304-935-5008. The Dave Allen Show on 580 Live is brought to you by Thornhill Auto Group, including Thornhill GM Superstore. If you're in the market for a powerful, luxurious, and innovative truck, come check out the 2024 Silverado from Chevy, the 1500 Crew Cab LTZ, and High Country today. Find new roads to Thornhill GM Superstore. Click or come by ThornhillGMSuperstore.com or on the road to total savings. Thornhill Motor Mile US 119 in Chapmanville. And we do the show from the Par-Mar Store studio. If there's not a Par-Mar store near you now, there will be soon. Par-Mar, of course, glad to welcome everybody into town for the girls state basketball tournament, which gets underway. Actually, our coverage has already began on the radio, on Charleston's ESPN radio, but the official tip-off coming in about 20-25 minutes or so. Par-Mar, of course, is the official store of high school sports in West Virginia. If there's not a Par-Mar store near you now, there will be soon. Coming up a little later on the show, State Ag Commissioner Kent Leonhardt is going to stop by. They recently wrapped up, had a couple of weeks ago, the Farmers Market, Winter Blues they call it, over at the Coliseum Convention Center. So we're going to talk to the State Ag Commissioner about that. And we have a candidate for magistrate here in Kanawha County. Her name is Melanie Rucker. She'll be stopping by as well. I didn't get a chance to get into this whole thing with Joe Manchin that happened on Friday at Harvard University. I know Hoppy focused on a little bit. I'm going to talk about it a little bit later on if we get an opportunity. Plus, as always, your calls and texts are welcome too. Biggly, Piggly, Wiggly hotline 304-345-5858. And the text line from Fruth is 304-935-5008. All right, so let's go back to the election of 2022. Voters of Putnam County were asked to either vote for or against a fire and ambulance levy that would have changed the way that fire fees are assessed in the county. Now, voters did not approve it by a large enough margin, and now when they go to the ballot box this year, they'll again be asked to reassess the issue. John Smoot is with us right now, and he is with the Tays Valley Fire Department. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
All right, and did I get the intro right on that?
Yes, sir.
Okay, all right, well, good. I'm batting 1,000 then. Good morning. Welcome to the show, Chief.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
So explain to us basically, I mean, you said I set it up okay in the intro there, but how does this whole thing work?
Okay, so the last attempt that we did for the levy on the November 22 ballot, it came in somewhere between 52 and 53%. And at that time, 60% was required. So it didn't meet that mark. So it's up again in May, and this time it is solely going to Putnam County Fire Service.
Okay.
And it will be $2.5 million. And the biggest thing that we have on our really agenda is to create a better answer for our staffing woes that we have in the fire service, really across this country now.
Why is that? Because back when you were, and I know everybody can't have the quote unquote sexy, exciting job, but back when you were a kid, when I was growing up, everybody wanted to be a fireman or a policeman or something. Why are more people not wanting to go into these fields?
I think it's a lot of things that I think it really took a spiral after COVID. The demands that were placed on first responders and what we were walking into. And, a lot of people thought that was a lot of unknowns, and they just really don't find it appealing to come in that kind of business anymore.
So why didn't it pass, in your opinion, in Putnam County in 2022? Why did it not pass by a large enough margin? Because, I mean, I live in Putnam County, and it's an area that I would think would be all about this sort of thing. I don't care to tell you, my wife and I both voted for it. Why do you think it didn't get the numbers?
I wonder if we were out early enough to get the message out enough. I wonder if we were in the right places to get the messages out. And we were working on a real tight time window, and we're not a whole lot different this time either. And it's just dynamics that we could not do anything about. But I think it had a large part to do with it.
Okay, so what is that message? That's why you're here on the show today, John. What is this message that you want to get out to the residents of Putnam County?
Well, Dave, I think we can go back to some of the experiences that Taze Valley has had. And in 2012, we realized that we no longer could do it as a volunteer department. We were running about 1,000 calls a year at that point. We were getting out about 50% of the time. And that's just because we didn't have people to do it. And then sometimes even when we went out, we didn't go out with enough people to handle the job. And so there was really obstacles that has been in the making for over a decade now. So our answer to it, we went to seek staffing grants. We put people on duty 24 hours a day. They were paid. And we started building the system from really the ground floor up. A year later, after we did that, then we answered every call that came in. We saw a 50% increase in calls that year. We went up to 1,500, and now we're wrestling with the 4,000 mark, and you just can't do that without people. We have good equipment. We have good vehicles. We just do not have people to ride them and to work the equipment. And without the people, you can have all you want, but if you don't have the people to do the work, that's
AI is not taking over this part of the.
Absolutely,
they haven't done that yet.
Absolutely,
yeah. We're talking to John Smoot about this upcoming what's now going to be, I guess, solely for the fire departments.
Yes, it will.
Yes. On the Dave Allen Show on 580 Live. Dave Allen Show on 580 Live is brought to you in part by Husson's Pizza. Get an 18-inch pepperoni pizza and a pizza bowl, only $22.99. Get your nearest Husson's location at hussonspizza.com for dine-in pickup or delivery. So explain the differences, the way that the wording is going to be from what it was on the ballot, John, in 2022 to 2024. You said it's going to be just for the fire departments now.
Yes, it is.
Okay, explain that.
The last time it was on the ballot, it was a $3 million ask, and at that point, $1.8 million was to go to the fire service, $1.2 million was to go to the EMS system in Putnam. And through the time between then and now, it was decided that the fire service would enter into this referendum by itself.
Okay.
And that's what you really need to look for on the ballot and to completely understand that. And the biggest demand for us is, like, again, people. Mm-hmm. And it eats up most of the budget, of course, in any business setting.
We don't want to play the fear factor game here, but what if this fails this time around, John? What could potentially happen for Putnam County residents?
Well, the same thing that happened in the Taze Valley community in late summer of 23. We were running into funding issues. We're trying to supply emergency medical services to the community whilst providing funding to staff fire trucks. That is a difficult balance to reach. And the oddity about that is that the money that we generate out of the fire service fees now cannot be used for salaries due to state statute. The money that volunteer and combination fire departments get from the state through our insurance premium surtax, we can't use any of that money for salaries. So when it comes to staffing, there has to be something else made available to take care of of the people part.
Right. And so you're hoping that if voters pass this time around, that should hopefully take care of it.
Yes, sir.
And this will be on the May.
It will be on the May ballot. Yes.
So it's a yes or no.
Yes, sir.
It's a yes or no. And this time around, does there have to be a percentage-wise like there was last time?
We're fairly certain that it needs to be a 50+1.
50+1 this time around. I posted some information that I got from the Facebook page on my Facebook page, Dave Allen Radio. So if the listeners want to go and read more about it, they can. But other than that, I mean, what are you doing for educating people? You said maybe you didn't get the message out last time. You've been out talking to civic groups, church groups. What have you been doing?
Social media, and then we will be in front of civic organizations as well over the next 2
So you're going to be
months.
hitting up the Rotaries and the Kiwanis
Yes,
and
yes.
things like that. I'll give you the final. I do this with my political candidates. I do something I call the final 30, where I give them 30 seconds uninterrupted to talk about why people should vote for them. So I'm going to treat you like a political candidate now. I'm going to say, in your opinion, how important is this, John?
Well, it comes back to the staffing issues, and if we do not have people to do the work for the demand that's being presented to us, we are just not going to be able to offer good service. So if you care about your community, if you care about your family, if you care about your friends, Taze Valley experienced a loss. We went from a 24-hour staffing to a 12-hour staffing on fire apparatus, and that is creating obstacles. But the staffing is required. We have really good equipment to do our work, but we do not have the people, and the people are not wanting to come in the business.
So that's it.
That's it.
Bottom line.
That's it.
All right, John, I appreciate you being here. John Smoot, I appreciate you being here. And again, when voters go to the ballot box, I still call it a ballot box. It's not really a ballot box anymore. Brian Wood wouldn't like that when I say a ballot box. It's when they go to face their computer screen, I guess, in May, they'll be seeing it. John, I appreciate you being here, man. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
All right, the Dave Allen Show on 580 Live, brought to you part by Bridge Valley. Are you interested in improving your company's IT workforce? Well, you may want to know that Bridge Valley offers custom-tailored IT training to bridge the skills gap. At Bridge Valley, you can train for little or no training, little or no cost, I should say. There's a lot of training. With a 50-50 salary match, Bridge Valley can also supply skilled graduates and apprenticeships for your company. Visit bridgevalley.edu/apprenticeships today for more information. We have State Agriculture Commissioner Kent Leonhardt coming up next. Back after this from the Parmar Store Studio on the Voice of Charleston, WCHS.
Are you looking for a technical job in the medical field? Generations is growing and looking to add on-job trained physical therapy techs to our rehab team. To apply, visit one of our 7 convenient locations or simply click on us at generationspt.com.
Hi, I'm David McCormick, owner of Omega Commercial Interiors. We'd like to thank you, West Virginia, for making us the #1 office furniture and commercial interiors company in West Virginia. Remember, when you're looking for quality office furniture and space planning for healthcare, corporate offices, or even a private office, call us and buy local. Omega Commercial Interiors. We're a proud West Virginia company. Visit us online at omegacommercialinteriors.com in Morgantown and Charleston.
Legislators have 400 million reasons not to touch West Virginia's unemployment fund. That's how much our state's unemployment fund currently has. $400 million you and I worked hard for to protect us if we lose our job. Why would politicians cut money we earned and rely on? Cutting unemployment, making it harder on our families is not why we sent them to Charleston. Tell legislators, hands off our unemployment. It's our money, not theirs.
Paid for by the West Virginia AFL-CIO.
We are professional grade. Are you looking for a new truck or SUV that can handle any terrain or challenge? Then you need to visit Thornhill GM Superstore on the Thornhill Motor Mile. Right now, you can get a $6,000 purchase allowance when you trade an eligible vehicle on the new GMC Sierra 1500. Or shop Thornhill's great selection of GMC terrain. You can enjoy 1.9% APR for well-qualified buyers on the small SUV that offers GMC Pro Safety Plus. Plus, you'll get a $500 purchase allowance and no payments for 90 days. Click or come by ThornhillGMSuperstore.com or on the Thornhill Motor Mile, US 119, Chapmanville. Also, Factor G Financial, see Thornhill for all details.
$9:21. Bigly, Piggly, Wiggly hotline 304-345-5858. Fruit Pharmacy text 304-935-5008. The Dave Allen Show on 580 Live, presented in part by Brightway Insurance, a Mays agency of Tays Valley. Locally owned and operated by an Air Force veteran and a former teacher. When it comes to insurance, they are everything. They have everything that you've been looking for. Brightway offers expertise from real local agents, talking real, not a 1-800 number, real phone number and everything. 304-814-2509 for John and Sherry Mays. Text says, Dave, the people voted this levy down, and TAR, reference to Senator Eric Tarr, went behind their backs and got money for the fire department, so the people should vote no. They got money from the state, says a texter. Coming up a little bit later on in the show, we're going to be joined by Melanie Rucker, who is a candidate for magistrate here in Kanawha County. I want to welcome to the show now State Agriculture Commissioner Kent Leonhardt. Good morning, sir. Welcome to the show.
Good morning, Dave. Thanks for having me on. It's a beautiful day out there, looks like, so far.
Well, and you're a farmer, so you would know what a beautiful day is, right?
Oh, yeah, we work every day of the year, but beautiful days are always welcome.
They are indeed. So you were just on a couple of weeks ago, Commissioner, but I promised to have you back because I wanted to talk about the Winter Blues Farmers Market over at the Coliseum Convention Center a couple of weeks ago. How'd it go?
Oh, it was so incredible. In 2 years, we've almost doubled the number of vendors and doubled the sales. Attendance continues to grow. We're estimating somewhere between 5,000 and 6,000 people showed up this time. And I want to take a moment, Dave, to thank all the listeners out there that attended, and everybody in the Kanawha Valley or traveled afar to get to this year's market. It was a great event. All the comments we've gotten have been super. And I want to encourage everybody to put it on their calendar for Saturday, March 1st, 2025. We're going to do it all again.
Talk about some of the places that people came from. I mean, they came from, obviously, you're going to pick up people from here in the Kanawha Valley because of the location, but people came from all over for this thing, man.
They did, and I saw some legislators from all the Eastern Panhandles showed up. Well, they were already in town, but the support was just incredible. The sales were super. We had more variety. I would say people came from about every corner of the state.
Well, that's good. That's exactly what that's what we want to see, and we want to bring them into town. We want them to spend some money while they're here, and that we want them to spend some money at the farmers market, which they did.
They did. They certainly did. I mean, we had the highest sales ever. We had over $140,000. That's a 20% increase from last year, and all that money goes back into the pockets of the vendors there. The department doesn't keep that or anything else. It all goes to them and helps them. It bridges that gap that they have during that slow period from, the fall leading up to Christmas, and then when things start to pick up again in the spring. So it's welcomed by the vendors, and it's certainly been welcomed by the citizens of West Virginia.
Talking to State Agriculture Commissioner Kent Leonhardt here on this morning's Dave Allen Show on 580 Live. A Dave Allen Show on 580 Live, brought to you in part by General Hardware and of Winfield and Milton, and also General Lumber of Winfield. Whether you're getting your home ready for warm weather months or to have a project that you're working on, get ready to get that underway. They can help. Locally owned and operated General Hardware and General Lumber. Visit generalhardwarewv.com. All right, so now that that's behind us, sir, what are you working on next?
Well, we're actually starting to get ready for the state fair. We're starting to do all the planning. We've started the planning. That starts the day after the last fair ends.
Right.
But that's going to be in August. They've got a great lineup of entertainers for the evening. Those shows are always good. And then we also have a lot of other fairs and festivals coming up. We've got the Strawberry Festival coming up in May. That's one of the early ones. And there's like 117 fairs and festivals in the state of West Virginia, and they're all throughout the state. I wish I could go to every one. I get to as many as I can as we promote agriculture throughout West Virginia.
Everybody's got a festival.
Everybody go to one.
Everybody's got a festival. That Strawberry Festival is huge. That's Buchanan, right?
That's in Buchanan, and we're getting strawberries earlier and earlier now in West Virginia with our high tunnel technology and all. So more and more growers are growing strawberries in the state of West Virginia, And I hear that there's maybe some others getting ready to start soon as well. So we'll look forward to some of those announcements in the future.
Commissioner, the calendar says technically it's still wintertime, but, we're going to change the clocks this weekend. And people, I think, especially with the weather we've had here in the Kanawha Valley over the last couple of days, you referenced it as we started at the top of the segment. So I think people are now kind of in springtime mode. What does spring mean in the world of agriculture in West Virginia?
Well, the spring is what, some of the old timers used to call it green up time, because that's when the leaves come back out, the grass starts to grow. You don't have to feed hay in the winters, and the animals can feed on more nutritious, fresh green grass, not less supplements needing. It's also a matter of new birth. It's, when a lot of the animals and the wildlife are born in the spring. A lot of people will calve in the spring to time it with what nature used to be. So spring is like a new birth as the beginning of the new year. You come out of the doldrums of winter. Attitudes improve because, the shorter days, less sunlight, gloomy, doesn't always help our mental attitudes sometimes. But when you get longer days and you get outside in the bright sunlight, our mental health improves. And it's just, like I said early on, it's a time of birth and new growth.
Well, Commissioner, it's always a pleasure to have you on the show. And again, hats off to you and your staff and all of the vendors, really, as you said, the volunteers and everybody that went into making the Winter Blues Farmer Market such a huge success a couple of weeks ago at the Coliseum and Convention Center. I know it's going to be a busy time for you and your staff. As you said, spring means rebirth, and everybody's out there doing all the stuff. I appreciate you being here, sir. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, and I want to say a thank you to our partner in this with WVU Extension Services. We all work together.
Couldn't do it without them. All right, I appreciate you being here, sir. We'll talk again soon. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, Dave. Appreciate it.
State Agriculture Commissioner Kent Leonhardt on this morning's show. Special Olympics embodies the true spirit of sportsmanship, not merely about winning medals. It's about being a part of a team, practicing and competing together. The joy and fulfillment derived from these experiences are immeasurable as athletes find their confidence and self-worth through the shared pursuit of victory. West Virginia, enriched in collaboration with Huntington, invites you to witness the transformative power of Special Olympics. See a video highlighting the Special Olympics at facebook.com/580WCHS. Coming up a little bit later on the show, Melanie Rucker is going to be here. She is a candidate for magistrate here in Kanawha County. We are going to talk to her. Little programming note, because, I'm constantly moving things around with the show and so on and so forth. Just got word that we are going to have U.S. Senator Shelley Moore Capito on the show tomorrow. Her office just got with me, and literally while I was on the air here. And so thanks to the ability to do texting and things of that nature while you're on the air, you can work that out. But again, Shelley Moore Capito is going to be on the show coming up tomorrow. Also on the show tomorrow, we're going to get a check-in with Brad McElhenney as we start to wind down the day of the 60-day legislative session. There may be a special session, it's looking like, in May. But we're going to talk to Brad about that. And he is the chief deputy in Kanawha County for the Sheriff's Department, and he wants to be the next sheriff. Talking about Joey Crawford. He is going to be on the show tomorrow as well. Phone calls to the Dave Allen Show. The service of Biggly Piggly Wiggly. When shopping at your Biggly Piggly Wiggly, be sure to join their loyalty program. You can save big at the gas pumps and throughout the store with their electronic coupons and free gifts on Fridays just for stopping by from farm to table. Biggly Piggly Wiggly, the best kept secret in Charleston. Texting services are provided by Fruth Pharmacy, your hometown family pharmacy. Find the perfect over-the-counter hearing aid at Fruth with NuvoMed hearing aids. Plus, Fruth makes it easier to transfer your prescription services to them. Fruth is your hometown family pharmacy. A horrific story out of Calhoun County, just a couple of counties over from us. And I had read about it on the website, wvmetronews.com. We've got an in-depth story and a photograph there. And actually, I normally, when I'm doing the show, have the TV on one of the news channels here. And it just made national news here. This school bus driver in Calhoun County, drunk on the job, allegedly, and ran the school bus over a hillside, over an embankment. And several students were injured. One had to be life-flighted, I understand. None of the injuries are expected to be life-threatening, which is good news. But obviously that guy has had a bad day. I mean, I don't have a lot of sympathy for people who drive drunk. And again, these are allegations at this point. But I have even less sympathy for people that drive a school bus while intoxicated, high, whatever the case is. So, but luckily, it looks like that all the students, again, none of their injuries are expected to be life-threatening. And we have a full story posted about it now at WVMetroNews.com. Bigley Piggly Wiggly hotline 304-345-5858. Fruit Pharmacy text 304-935-5008. The Dave Allen Show on 580 Live is brought to you in part by Meeks Realty Group. Discover the unrivaled expertise of Meeks, your ultimate partners in all things real estate, whether it's your dream home or that ideal commercial space. Meeks has got you covered. Contact Rich the Realtor, 304-932-7488. Let Rich and the team guide you on your real estate journey. Take a look at all their listings at Meeks.us. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we're going to talk to one of the candidates for magistrate here in Kanawha County. Her name is Melanie Rucker. She's coming up next. Back after this from the Parmar Store Studio on the Voice of Charleston, WCHS.
Brought to you by the Eric J. Tarr Family Businesses. Eric J. Tarr Family Businesses live to make life better for you and your family.
Thrive with 5 at the best community bank in the Kanawha Valley, Poca Valley Bank. Poca Valley Bank is now offering a certificate of deposit special, 10-month APY, annual percentage yield 5%. Take advantage of this great rate to grow your savings. For more information, stop by a Poca Valley Bank location today or call 844-782-2651. Poca Valley Bank, where relationships matter. Certain terms and conditions apply. Rates based on minimum annual percentage yield. Subject to change without notice. Minimum deposit required of $10,000 of new money not currently on deposit with Poca Valley Bank to receive APY. Member FDIC.
There's nothing like the vibrant colors of fall in West Virginia or the beauty of a mountain state sunset. Optometrists understand your vision is important. As primary eye care providers, optometrists deliver comprehensive and advanced treatments for eye diseases using state-of-the-art technology. Whether you're exploring the splendor of the mountains or gazing at the starlit skies, your local optometric physician is there to make sure you see your best by providing the highest level of care allowed by state law. Find more information about your local doctor of optometry at eyecarewv.com.
Bigley Piggly Wiggly on Spring Street has served 3 generations of shoppers since 1955 as the largest locally owned independent grocery store in the area. The Joseph family owners grew up here, so you know they're invested in the community. They provide the biggest variety of choice meats, the freshest produce, an in-house deli bakery, great wine selection, and more of your favorite brands. Every purchase gives you gasoline points so you can save at our pumps. Order online for pickup at BigleyPigglyWiggly.com. Bigley Piggly Wiggly on Spring Street. No one beats the pig.
Unsure you're ready for retirement? That's understandable. After all, you only retire once. Make the smart choice and call 4th Avenue Financial. If it deals with retirement planning, you can be confident they have the experience you need. Retire right with 4th Avenue Financial. Go to 4thavenuefinancial.com or call 304-746-7977 to book your free introductory meeting today.
Securities offered through JW Cole Financial Incorporated, member FINRA SIPC. Advisory services offered through JW Cole Advisors Incorporated, JW Cole Financial, JW Cole Advisors, and 4th Avenue Financial are unaffiliated entities.
$25 minutes away from 10. Bigley Piggly Wiggly hotline 304-345-5858. Fruit Pharmacy text 304-935-5008. Reminder that you can follow the Dave Allen Show on Facebook at Dave Allen Radio or follow me on X, the artist formerly known as Twitter. Not hard to find at Dave A70. The Dave Allen Show, just go look it up. All right. And all of our shows, of course, the show is 100% live on this here radio station, but we also make them available via podcast as well. And you can get the podcast versions at the website, WCHSnetwork.com, or at any of our social media sites, including WCHS Network. Also available on Dave Allen Radio, again, on Facebook or on X, the artist formerly known as Twitter. The Dave Allen Show on 580 Live is brought to you in part by Morgan & Morgan. If you're injured, hire Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm. I want to welcome to the show now Melanie Rucker, who's a candidate running for magistrate in District 12 in Kanawha County. Melanie, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Thank you for being here. Explain to the listeners, and you and I were talking about a little bit during the break, how exactly do these districts work in Kanawha County? Because it's actually changed over the years. Explain that.
Yes, back in 2012, we ran as what was called a PAC, where you had the Democrats and the Republicans. So then you would have a runoff in May, and then you would go in November to have
the general
your
election.
10. Yes, you would pick your 10. Now they changed that. I believe it was back in 2016. They changed that to where we have divisions. So it doesn't matter where you live or anything like that. You just pick the division that you're running in. And then also for the voters to know, they added 3 magistrate spots this time. So instead of 10, we actually have 13 divisions.
So you got 13 different folks. It'll be,
yes.
And are they all up at the same time every year?
Yes.
So they're not staggered in any way, is what you're saying,
No.
right? Everybody's up at the same time. Now, are you registered? And the only reason I ask this, or you're registered what your party is, because if I don't ask, even if it's judicial, even if it's magisterial, I get a text somebody saying you didn't ask what their party was. So, do you care to divulge that?
Oh, I'm great with that. I am a Republican.
Okay, all right. Again, it's one of those offices that it really doesn't make a difference.
No, it does
However, when I have a guest on the show, somebody always said you didn't ask whether they were Democrat or Republican.
I agree.
So you are a registered Republican. Yeah. So why do you want to be a magistrate?
Well, actually, I have 20 plus years as magistrate assistant.
Okay.
Okay.
Now, what does a magistrate assistant actually do?
A lot.
Besides assist the magistrate, I got that part.
They do everything that the magistrate does except make decisions, okay? The magistrate makes the decisions and you make all the magic happen behind the scenes. So you are in criminal, you're in civil, domestic violence. Honestly, the magistrate and the assistant, if you are arrested, you are the very first person. You're the front lines of the court system. Mm-hmm. Whether you have a traffic ticket or you're accused of murder,
right,
you're going to come and see the magistrate first. So.
And you've been doing this for how many years?
20 plus years.
So what made you decide, okay, now's my time?
Actually, I ran in 2012 and a couple of other times. Mm-hmm. So, and everybody knows Kanawha County is a big county.
Yes,
so you
indeed.
have to, it's going to be magic if you win the first couple of times.
Mm-hmm.
So
I mean, it's a lot of ground to cover.
Yes, there absolutely is. So I have been there. I knew from probably the first couple of years that I was there, I wanted to be a magistrate. Mm-hmm. And I've worked under the direction of Ward Harshbarger and Tim Halloran. So I came back and worked with Ward when he came back. And I like helping people. I like that aspect. Because, when people come through those doors, it's very intimidating, especially when they've never been there before and their families are in trouble. This is some people's worst day of their life.
Yeah, I mean, it's not exact. You don't always see the magistrate, on sunshiny days.
No.
It's usually something bad has happened or something's bad happened to you or a family member or whatever is the reason why you were there. Give us some of your, you talked about your background as far as being in the system, but tell us about you, the individual, any information that you care to share away from the job, whatever you want to share.
I am a daughter, a wife, a mother of 2 grown children, and I have lots of grandchildren, and I'm now a chicken tender. I
beg your pardon?
I have 5 chickens.
Okay.
And I do a cat rescue, and I have a lab, a black lab.
All right.
So
I like to make political figures seem a little bit more human from time to time because they're not always seen that way.
I am human, and
yes, she is. I will verify she's human. She's actually in studio with me this morning.
Also, I would like to say that I stepped away from the job back in 2022, I think it was, because my mother was ill, and I couldn't do both the jobs well. Yeah. So I knew that it wasn't going to be a hard decision. I stepped away to take care of my mom, and she died back in May 2023. Okay. So now I want to go with my dream, and I want to be a magistrate.
Talk with Melanie Rucker again, who's a candidate for magistrate here in Kanawha County. What are some of the biggest needs, in your opinion, or concerns of the office?
I think the biggest need is for people to be treated fairly, everyone be treated fairly and with dignity when they come in. Compassion goes a long ways. Common sense goes a long ways as well. I mean, it's not everybody. There are some people that's innocent whenever they walk in there. and you should never be treated without dignity.
Right. Well, and you are innocent till proven guilty.
Exactly.
You know, no matter what. So I guess, the biggest thing is that whether you're a magistrate, whether you're a judge, whether you're a police officer, whatever, the biggest issue that we face here in Kanawha County and around the country, for that matter, is drugs and the opioid crisis, and now fentanyl and heroin and all the other things come along with it. I've had people in the legal profession, from judges on down, that have told me that something like 90 to 95% of every case they see somehow involves drugs. Even if it's somebody stole a bicycle, well, it's to get money for drugs. If there was a domestic assault, chances are there were drugs involved somewhere. Here's the $2 million question, Melanie. How do we fix that? If you knew that, you wouldn't be running for magistrate. Exactly. I realize that, but what can be done? What can be done?
I think that we need to have a drug court on the magistrate level. We have it in the circuit court level, and that has shown to be very positive, and it has given positive outcome. We need to have something like that on the level of magistrate. I also was in juvenile, and I worked juvenile several years. I went and helped these kids with community service, make people be held accountable. And whenever those children were held accountable, things went into a positive direction. We need that on magistrate level. Make people be held accountable and do a drug court. I think that's the biggest need. I really do. And you are 100% right. Everything revolves around that. I went through the meth lab era, when the meth labs were everything.
Right.
Now, that's nothing compared to what we are battling right now.
Mm-hmm.
And you don't realize that every family out there is connected some way.
Yeah. I mean, and
all walks of life.
And it doesn't matter your socioeconomic status. Everybody, if you think about it, can think about somebody in their family, maybe somebody married into your family or whatever the case may be, that this has been an issue for. And it's a good point I think you brought up about what we're dealing with, because drugs go in cycles. You know, it was cocaine, it was crack cocaine, and now with you're seeing with fentanyl, this is a totally different ballgame, because we've never seen, and law enforcement people and medical professionals, Melanie, will tell you that we've never seen anything quite like this. And they're trying to get out in front of this by saying one pill can kill. And now, whereas people would go down to the corner and hit up their local drug dealer for something, they can order a lot of this stuff on the internet, and it delivered directly to their homes with no middleman required. That's pretty scary stuff.
Absolutely. And I think that we forget about another victim in all this, and that's the children.
Yes.
The children are a big victim of this. And do we want the generation to keep going? No. We need to solve the problem for the children as well.
Yeah. Again, we're talking Melanie Rucker, who's a candidate running for magistrate here. And sometimes I think that people maybe, in the general public, could be maybe ignorant of the way that the system works, because anytime there's a crime, they'll say something like, well, why was he or she back out on the streets again? Well, a lot of times as a magistrate or a judge, for that matter, your hands are tied. There are sentencing guidelines for judges. There are things that you can do and that you can't do.
Mm-hmm. That is correct. And again, magistrates, I mean, they can only do so much. Magistrates can only do so much with bonds. They have the right to bond hearings within 3 days. I mean, you're going to have a tough way to keep them in jail. And again, if we had more resources and more help for people, then we wouldn't see the crime as we do.
Yeah. And you see, my friends in law enforcement, Melody, have told me that they see a lot of the same people. And I would assume that that's the exact case for a magistrate. Oh, Johnny's back again. Yes. Mary's back again.
Yes.
Sadly, this one. How's the campaign been so far for you?
It's doing well.
You mentioned Kanawha County is a big county. You've been out doing some door knocking
knocking
as best you can.
As the best I can. Door knocking. You will be seeing me holding a sign and waving in areas. I mean, it's a big county, and you just My big thing is, if you want to talk to me, reach out to me. I am available anytime to talk. I would love to talk to people. I just had a few people call me last week and do interviews with me because they are voters. Mm-hmm. Like how you and I are talking, I would love to talk to voters like that.
Okay. Well, and there are various organizations I do that do meet the candidates type things and things of that nature. So you'd be open to those things?
Absolutely.
So how many people are we looking at when the Kanawha County voters go to the ballot booth? I referred to it as a ballot box earlier, and it's not really a ballot box anymore. I'm old school that way. But so how many people are running approximately? Do you have any idea how many people are just for I mean, a lot of people?
Oh, yeah.
A lot of people?
There's.
So what makes you the best?
What makes me the best?
Well, what makes you the best or the most qualified?
The most qualified. I only have 3 other candidates that I'm running against. Okay. And what makes me the best candidate in that area is my experience, my 20-plus years experience. I have also ran for that office before. Mm-hmm. And I feel like that I want to help people, and I know how to be compassionate as well as hardcore, if you will, and I know how to treat people with dignity and be fair.
All right. So my final 30, as I do with all our political candidates, why should somebody vote for Melanie Rucker for magistrate in District 12 in Kanawha County?
Again, you should vote for Melanie Rucker because I have the experience. I care about the Kanawha County area. I am a lifetime resident here, and I'm just like you. I have family. I have grandchildren that I want to see grow up in this community and it be a safer community for everyone. And again, everyone is faced with these same obstacles, and I want to have the compassion and the fair, treat everyone with compassion and fairness. You can go to my website. I have a Facebook page, Melanie Friends to Elect Melanie Rucker. And also, if you get one of my business cards, you just aren't going to throw it in the trash. It's actually seed paper, and you can plant it, and you can have some flowers. Nothing else.
And grow other business cards, or what?
It just grows flowers.
Okay.
It has seeds in it.
That's unique. Give us the Facebook page again.
It is Friends to Elect Melanie Rucker. Mm-hmm. And again, I would love for someone to reach out to me, and I would have a talk with them just like I'm talking with you.
I have a feeling that after today, you're going to probably get some direct messages sent to there, and so
that would be great.
We wish you the best of luck with the campaign. Nice to get to know you, and thanks for being here. Thanks a lot.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. Melanie Rucker, again, is a candidate who's running for magistrate in District 12 in Kanawha County. The Dave Allen Show on 580 Live is brought to you in part by your hometown baseball team, the Charleston Dirty Birds. Mountaineers and the Thundering Herd at Go-Mart Ballpark next Tuesday night. For ticket information, visit dirtybirdsbaseball.com. We're back after this on the Voice of Charleston, WCHS.
Brought to you by the Eric J. Tarr Family Businesses. Eric J. Tarr Family Businesses want to thank you for supporting local small businesses.
Will be soon. You hear us say that a lot, but it's true. Wherever you may go, chances are you'll find a Par-Mar store there, offering everything you need to get you in and then back on the road as soon as possible. From gas to groceries and snacks and items for your house, we have it at Par-Mar stores. Download the app and sign up for the Par-Mar Rewards Card too. West Virginia, Kentucky, Ohio, Maryland, Pennsylvania, and Virginia. If there's not a Par-Mar store near you now, there will be soon.
Craving a taste of the South right here in Charleston? Head to Time After Time, this week's 50-50 Friday. They're serving up authentic Southern cuisine that'll make your taste buds sing with joy. From mouthwatering fried chicken to savory shrimp and grits, every dish is prepared with love and tradition. Time After Time, 1588 Washington Street East on the East End. Friday at 9 a.m. Go to WCHSnetwork.com and click the 50-50 Friday button to get 50% off gift certificates for Time After Time, courtesy of the WCHS family of networks.
Career politicians in Charleston and Washington are taxing our families too much. Let's vote for a Republican that will fight for us. Republican Dwayne Duncan, running for Kanawha County Commission, wants to cut taxes for all our families. Dwayne Duncan wants more jobs, lower taxes, and safer communities. Dwayne Duncan is a job creator and believes you should keep more of your hard-earned money. Let's vote for lower taxes and more jobs. Let's vote for Republican Dwayne Duncan for Kanawha County Commission.
Paid for by Dwayne Duncan for County Commission. Tori Takubo, Treasurer.
Legislators have 400 million reasons not to touch West Virginia's unemployment fund. That's how much our state's unemployment fund currently has. $400 million you and I worked hard for to protect us if we lose our job. Why would politicians cut money we earn and rely on? Cutting unemployment, making it harder on our families is not why we sent them to Charleston. Tell legislators, hands off our unemployment. It's our money, not theirs.
Paid for by the West Virginia AFL-CIO.
I'm loving this. Yes, yes, yes.
Eight minutes away from 10. Ryan Nicholson is our producer today. Bigly, Piggly Wiggly, hotline 304-345-5858. Fruit Pharmacy text 304-935-5008. The Dave Allen Show on 580 Live. Brought to you in part by Pinnacle Consultants, the only accredited commercial lab in the state for asbestos and mold. Asbestos was banned in some building products, but not banned for all products in the U.S. Do not expose your family or workers to asbestos, mold, or lead paint. Get with Pinnacle Consultants. They offer real estate environmental assessments for your hazardous materials and air quality. Visit pinnaclecorp.net because what you don't know can hurt you. Text says, we want neutral and independent judges who put aside their personal, religious, and political beliefs when deciding cases. Now tell me, judge candidate, what are your party affiliation, religion, and personal worldviews? I have to know if you meet my definition of neutral and independent before I vote for you. Well, our party affiliation, I can tell you, was Republican. I asked her, and the reason that I do that, even though it's not a position that that your political party should matter when you're dealing with the law, again, invariably, if I don't ask somebody what their party affiliation, number one, you can actually look it up on, you can look up any candidate and find out what their party affiliation is. But if I don't ask, then somebody will say, well, you didn't say whether they were registered Republican, Democrat, Independent, whatever. So Melanie Rucker is a registered Republican, as she said during the interview. Not getting into religion and worldviews and things of that nature simply because they're not going to be battling, not going to be talking about abortion, and not going to be talking about Trump, Biden as the magistrate. So there you go. Text says, older people who use drugs could be rehabbed, and the effort should be out there. But while doing that, the older generations need to make West Virginia a place of optimism and hope for younger generations. A lot of people turn to drugs from no future prospects and generational trauma caused by poor economic conditions. In my opinion, says the texter, the end of West Virginia's drug epidemic comes with giving the kids more options than leaving West Virginia for prosperity or doing drugs to cope with decades-long economic disasters, says a texture. Hoppy's coming up with Talk Line at 10:06 from the Encova Studios in Morgantown. More talk about the bills having to do with unemployment benefits. Delegate Clay Riley of Harrison County will be discussing that. Senate Education Committee Chairman Amy Nicole Grady will be talking about the bills pertaining to school discipline and the travel ball bill. Brad is in with Hoppy. Brad will be on this show, I think, tomorrow. Joe Bricado will have an update from the Girls State Basketball Tournament, which is now underway at the Coliseum and Convention Center. It's Talk Line with Hoppy coming up at 10:06. He's in Morgantown today, and the GOAT will be back at the Capitol tomorrow morning at 10:06. The Dave Allen Show on 580 Live, brought to you in part by Live Healthy West Virginia, presented by WVU Medicine. Live Healthy tackles pressing health issues. It's a podcast offering insights into medical breakthroughs and preventative care, featuring WVU Medicine's expert physicians aimed at fostering healthier lifestyles in and beyond the state. It's a valuable resource for all. Discover the latest episodes on WVMetroNews.com under the podcast menu and start your journey towards better health today. Speaking of the state girls basketball tournament, as I said, now underway at the Coliseum and Convention Center. First game happening now with Nitro and Pikeview from Class AAA. Daytime action available on Charleston's ESPN Radio, 106.7 FM and 1490 AM, and, of course, on the website, WVMetroNews.com. Most of the nighttime games on the WCHS network. Girls this week, and the championships on Saturday, boys next week. Today, of course, is Super Tuesday, also known as Nikki's Last Stand. Nikki Haley did manage to win a primary. That may have fallen under the radar in Washington, D.C. I'm not even sure that counts. But anyway, we'll see what happens on Super Tuesday. All right, so this Joe Manchin thing that broke over the weekend. Hoppy talked about it yesterday a little with Danny Jones, and it was the subject of Hoppy's commentary this morning. So last Friday, Senator Manchin was in a meeting at the Harvard Institute of Politics. Now, it may surprise you to know that your radio pal here, Dave, has actually done some work in the past with the Harvard Institute of Politics. But I digress. Anyway, closed-door meeting with when these environmental wackos barge in. And that's what I called them. I'm going to borrow that term from Rush Limbaugh. In getting all up in Senator Manchin's face about fossil fuels, pipelines, etc. One, getting up in Manchin's face saying, quote, "You sold our futures and you got rich doing it, you sick F word." Now, to be honest, if you've seen the video, and I posted it over the weekend on my social media, not hard to find, Senator Manchin was about ready to clock the guy when his aide, Jonathan Cott, threw the guy out, literally. And it was hilarious. It was hilarious to me to watch. Of course, now this group, Climate Defiance, claims that their guy was the victim in all this. Go watch the video. I mean, it's a closed-door meeting, and these people basically barge in, get up in Joe Manchin's face, call him a sick F word. Manchin jumps up and is restrained, and then Jonathan Cott, who is Manchin's longtime aide, literally picked the guy up and threw him out on his can. And I will say this. I have never been more proud of Joe Manchin in my life than what I was in watching that video. He's lucky that Jonathan Cott got to him because Mojo was about to activate the guy's dental plan, if you know what I mean. And this group, Climate Defiance, is a radical organization. Look them up. Read about them. Protests are one thing, but these are the type people who splash paint on artwork in museums. And as Hoppy, I think, so well pointed out in his commentary, do they think that the average American is going to look at the childish crap that they do and say, you know what? They're right. And I'll close with this. I think Earthboy there probably need to realize he wasn't confronting a feeble old man like Joe Biden or Donald Trump. I think Manchin could have kicked the guy's ass himself, with or without the aid. And I'll say something I haven't said a long time about Joe Manchin. Go Joe. Amen for Senator Manchin, says a texter. All right, did not get time to read these texts. I will get to them tomorrow. Gotta go. Thank you to Ryan Nicholson and my guests for being on the show today. Coming up tomorrow on the show, Senator Shelby Moore Capito is going to be on the show tomorrow. Joey Crawford, who's the Chief Deputy for Kanawha County Sheriff's Department, he is going to be on the show. He's running for sheriff. He's going to be on the show tomorrow. Plus, we're going to check in with Brad McElhaney as well. We got the news of the day, WVMetroNews.com. Follow along all the state tournament action as well, as the girls' state tournament is now underway. I will see you tomorrow. Enjoy this nice weather today. Till then, have fun and love somebody.
WCHS AM 96.5 FM Charleston and 104.5 Cross Lanes, a WVRC media station. We're proud to live here too.